And welcome to Generation X Youth Sports Network. It is the 7 and Under championship game here in Panama City. It's Supreme against Bessemer. Bessemer will be in the dark uniforms, white helmets, and Supreme in the red and white. Both of these teams have been on a collision course since the beginning of this year. They circled it on their calendars when they put these rosters together early January, February. They felt that they were the two teams that had to meet for the number one spot, and here it is. They've earned their way to get here. Supreme actually touching down in Panama City on Thursday. First and 10 for Bessemer. They'll do a hard count, and there's going to be a flag on the play, and that's going to be a false start. They'll back them up 5 yards. That'll make it first and 15 Bessemer. Quarterback calls his own number. He's tackled hard at the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go. As he looked like he had some running room off tackle, the hole closed fast, and it'll be no gain. Brings up 2nd and 15 for the Tigers. He'll test the left-hand side of that Supreme defense, maybe a gain of 2. That's going to bring up 3rd and 12. 3-yard gain. Handoff right up the middle. Has some room, piles forward, and he'll get to around the 40-yard line. Brings up 4th and, I want to say, maybe 4th and 7. So it's going to be a decision time for the Tigers. Will they punt, or will they go for it here? It looks like their offense is going to stay out on the football field. They'll need to be very careful of giving this Supreme offense excellent field position. If they can't convert this 4th and 7, that means Supreme will be setting up at their own, or will be setting up in Tigers territory at the Tigers 40. So it looks like we may have a timeout on the field. Both teams will talk about this 4th down. And so Bessemer has elected to punt the ball. They'll walk it off here in preseason. All special teams are live for championship Except for the 6U and 7U, they'll elect to walk off their punts in the preseason. Handoff right hand side. He'll be bottled up at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Handoff right hand side. Maybe a gain of 2. Not much there as this Bessemer defense is playing them tough. So defensive battle early in this game. Both teams on their initial opening drives, 3 and out. Brings up 2nd and 10. Four minutes and 37 seconds in the first quarter. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Tigers. All right, fourth down situation here for Supreme. 1 minute and 42 seconds left in the first quarter. It's 0-0. They'll call a timeout. They want to talk about it. Punt once again. Both teams with 3 and outs. Defense is the key right now. Now, Supreme is used to, going quick and fast and scoring early. Bessemer has a team that has been kind of grinding it out for a long time. They're used to these close battles. Yesterday, they were in a tough game the entire time. Supreme yesterday won almost 30-0. So how will that impact the psyche of both of these teams here? We'll find out as we continue. 1 minute and 37 seconds as Bessemer sets up their offense. And these are two teams that definitely wanted to play each other. They want this matchup. The parents here on the sidelines next to each other. There's 2 big pavilions here that provides the shades in the stands. And, usually one team sits on the other and the other team on the other. These parents have made it a point to get together. So in each and every play, they're letting you know who's making that impact. So right now, 1 minute and 37 seconds. Bessemer on offense, Supreme on defense. No team has been able to convert a first down thus far in the game. There has been no first downs in this game. Handoff to the right-hand side. Bessemer, the defending national champions, taking on Atlanta Elite Supreme, the challenger. Handoff left-hand side, makes one player miss. And that's probably been the most yards gained by both teams thus far. And he'll have a run for 8, brings up 3rd and 2 for Bessemer Tigers. And that will do it for the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get ready to flip the field. Scoreless game, 3rd and 1 for Bessemer Tigers here. They are in a wishbone formation, double tights. This is their power set. Handoff left-hand side. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. And it depends on the spot, very close. He's right at the sticks, and they'll call it fourth down. Fourth and half, well, less than a yard. Fourth and short. They look like they want to call for a measurement. They want a measurement here. Bessemer says, hey, listen, we got a first. Bring the chains on out. The reason they're doing that, they know every inch counts between these two teams right now. Here we go. It's a first down. By the nose of the football, Bessemer converts the first down of this game, and that will come with 9 minutes and 27 seconds in the second quarter. Quarterback to shotgun, calls his own number, runs to the left-hand side. A lot of pursuit there. They're all over that. A team effort on that tackle. And it's no gain. Direct snap. Runs to the left-hand side of the room. And he has a little room there, maybe a gain of 7. Flag on the play. 17 gets up a little, expired, and they'll go ahead and try to calm this down. These 7-year-olds are all ready to play football. 17 gets up after a big hit and claps it up in front of the player's face, and it gets a little chippy. And so flags are on the football field. And who would think a 7-year-old game gets chippy? That just tells you this type of game, they want to play each other bad. And the players know it. They want it. The Bessemer Tigers here to defend their championship. Supreme wants that championship. And so let's calm these boys down. So it's going to be offsetting penalties. Unsportsmanlike, both on Bessemer and Supreme. Power set, ball's on the ground. Takes it straight up the middle of the defense. A lot of room there, and that's going to be the second first down for this Bessemer team. And it seems like this Bessemer Tigers team found a little action here on this particular drive. Prior to this drive, there was no first down conversions on either team. On this drive, 2 back-to-back first downs for Bessemer. 7 minutes and 55 seconds left in this half, and there is going to be a penalty against Bessemer. Let's see what the call is. And they'll call him with a false start, so they'll back him up 5 yards. So it's going to be 1st and 15, Bessemer Tigers. Hand off left hand side. Still has some blocks. And a tough run by Bessemer Tigers. And 17, he's going to be ejected. That's 2 plays in a row that as he's getting up, he's a little chippy. So it looks like 17 will be ejected from the game. And that's 2 personal fouls on his end. So as we said, this game was a little chippy, but it has to stay within side of control. You know, and as I understand, there's a lot of emotion in this game. I know that these teams have not faced a lot of resistance from another team before, but you have to play within side of your means. You have to be able to play within side of control. And 17, unfortunately, after every play, he wanted to make sure he sent a message. So in football, no matter what age group it is, 2 of those penalties, it's an automatic ejection. So he had them back to back, so he'll be not participating in the rest of this championship round. I'm sure that his team members will rally around him and try to make it happen. And if anybody knows Big 17 for Supreme, he is like equivalent to, and I know there's going to be throwback, but he's like a Warren Sapp for the Supreme defensive line. Without him, they lose a little bit of that inspiration. As you can see, he's fired up. He's checking the other teams. He's like the Debo on your block. And so not only do they lose number 17, they are also of a recipient of a 15-yard penalty, puts Bessemer in the best field position they've been in all day. The ball will be spotted now at the 30-yard line. So big penalty, big long-term implications for Supreme because they'll need to play the game without him for the rest of the game. 7 minutes and 24 seconds, direct snap. There's some room around the corner. There's flags on the play, cuts in the middle. And that's going to be about a gain of 8. And you see the difference without 17 being in it already. The defense looks a little bit more porous to this Bessemer Tigers offense. And so let's see what the flags is. It's right now the game is still hyped. These kids are still hyped. The parents are going crazy. This is a rivalry that is starting all the way at 7. You can imagine what this is going to look like when these kids at the 12 and under age group. So big penalty against Bessemer. That's holding it. Back him up 10 yards. Flag on the play. Cuts up to the right. Cut down at the line of scrimmage, but there was a flag pre-snap. Hand off left hand side, he breaks. Number 2 on the tackle, but yet again another flag. Offsides defense, and Bessemer will decline it. Tight formation once again for the Tigers. Quarterback is in shotgun. Calls his own number. Quarterback draw. Follows a lead block. Cuts in the middle of the defense. Maybe a gain of 3. And they only needed 4 for a first. So guess what? Another Bessemer Tigers first down. 3 consecutive first downs just behind the run game right now for these Tigers team. 5 minutes and 55 seconds in the second quarter. So this has been a drive for the Tigers that's really taken a lot of time off the clock, but most importantly, giving a little wear and tear against the defense. Of course, if you're just joining the broadcast, number 17 will no longer be participating in the game, so gives advantage to Bessemer line up front without their anchor. Runs to the left, has a little room. Flags on the play again. And that's going to be holding Bessemer. And so what's happening is as the quarterback is running left off tackle, the guard is grabbing the defensive tackle, and they're going to call it every time. They're talking to him in the huddle saying, hey, listen, you can't grab him once he's past you. So they have that eye on that particular matchup, and we can watch it here. It's between left guard and the center. Left guard and defensive tackle. This time they come back to the opposite side, and he'll be hitting the backfield. He'll lose a lot of large yards there as the blocker could not shed the defender. He read it well. He set the edge, and that'll be a loss of 3 yards. Comes back the opposite side. He has some room there. Has some block. Makes a player miss. Still on his feet. Keeps his balance. And he'll get a lot of those yards back on a nice run by the Tigers. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 13. He still has a lot of yards to make up. Suprema substitutes some defensive players now. 4 minutes and 39 seconds in the second quarter. And we have a sideline warning for Bessemer. Sideline warning for Bessemer. Brings up 4th down. Four minutes and 18 seconds in the second quarter. Bessemer's driving, but 4th down situation here. A big play for the Supreme defense. They stop them here, they can get their ball back after Bessemer has had their deepest penetration in their own territory thus far. Bessemer in a 4 wide receiver set. Spread offense. Quarterbacks in shotgun. Sends a player in motion. He'll call his own number. Follows a block. Cuts back inside. Still on his feet. And not much there. Maybe a 3-yard gain. That's going to be turned over on downs. Going the opposite way. Supreme defense stands tall. With 4 minutes and 8 seconds left in the half. So these teams will need to eliminate some mistakes on 4th down. Coming out of a timeout, had 12 men break the huddle. That backed about 5 yards. 1st and 10 Supreme. 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Second quarter action. Score is 0-0. It's been all defense for both teams. Deep pass. And the receiver just stopped running his route and turned around and looked for the football. But if he keeps running, that's a touchdown. So the sun is at its highest point here in Panama City. And I can understand sometimes you might get the ball lost in the sun. But if he keeps running that route, because this quarterback, even though he's 7 years old, listen, he threw that ball from the 20 and threw it midfield with no problem. A tight sparrow at that. And guys, stop it on the line and saying that the kid only was clapping over his head. The refs don't throw anyone for clapping. He threw punches to the faces of the other team twice. They talked to him the first time, almost caused a whole ruckus here. They talked to both teams. The refs say, hey, listen, we can't have it on all age levels, guys. We all know we like X's and O's, but you have to have some type of structures. If we let all this fighting happen, and it's a rumble, then we're going to be like, listen, we never had control over the game. On any level of football, youth, high school, college, and pros, 2 personal fouls, you're out. So all this happening right now for him is that he's going to learn at the next stage at high school. It can't happen. He'll learn at college. It can't happen. And if he's fortunate enough to make it to pros, he'll know it can't happen. Expensive lesson to learn, but, man, listen, you got to play with inside of the rules and have controlled chaos is what I call it. If you want that anger to come out, take it out on the football field in between the whistles. All right, guys, here we go. 3 minutes and 29 seconds and a half. Hand off to the left-hand side. He has some room. Breaks the tackle. Still on his feet. Tries to accelerate but gets ran down. And that's the difference between these two teams. Against any other teams, that's usually touchdowns. When these kids hit the open field, it's usually 6 points. But because they're playing such a high-caliber opponent defensively, those plays that usually would break open aren't breaking open today. And thus far, we have a 0-0 score thus far at 3 minutes left in this first half. So it's 4th down. I'm not sure what the discussion is right now. But But they will elect to punt, which is a smart move here. You don't want to give Bessemer the ball with inside of their own 25-yard line. So as I said, in preseason with 6U and 7U, they'll walk it off. And it will be 1st and 10, Bessemer. So the difference in the game right now, Bessemer's had 3 first downs. And Supreme has not been a recipient of a first down this whole entire first half. Direct snap, runs to the left, has some room, open field, turns the corner, still on his feet. He'll get close to the first down marker. And that will be enough to move the chain. So now Bessemer's at their 4th first down for this game. And you ask me, well, why are you keeping up with first down? Well, in a defensive battle like their field position counts. These things count. Score 0-0. Runs the same play again. This time he follows his block up the middle. Flag comes in. And holding against Bessemer. And guys, if you've ever followed the Supreme team before, this is a team that really averages 30 points a game. So for them to be at 0 halftime is just a credit to the Bessemer Tigers defense. Power formation for Bessemer. 3 wing backs behind the left-hand side, overload left, and they'll run left. Right behind those 3 wing backs, and big chunk of yards once again, tackled by number 2 of Supreme. And number 2 for Supreme is a playmaker. Yesterday, he was all over the football field, offensively and defensively. He is a phenom and a kid to watch in this particular game. Breaks out of a tackle. And looked like he was bottled up, kept his legs moving. Supreme caught with too many men on the football field. And they'll walk the yards the other way. Timeout Bessemer. They'll want to talk about it with 58.2 seconds left in this half. Scoreless game between Supreme and Bessemer. 1st and 9. Runs behind the power once again, and nothing there as Supreme sniffs it out at the line of scrimmage, tackled by number 9. He's all over the play. No gain. Clock approaching under 30 seconds in the first half. Quarterback back to pass. He'll throw it deep into triple coverage. It's picked off. Let's see the call. They're saying the ball hit the ground. No pick. No pick. Ball hit the ground, so we'll bring up 3rd down. But the quarterback threw that into triple coverage. It was like Supreme knew that play was coming. They've scouted that play. Safety, both safeties actually, and the cornerback all around the potential receiver. .22 seconds left in the half, and they're going to have the guard take a step, and that's going to be a false start against Bessemer. They'll back him up 5 yards. Tackled in the backfield, Roman number 3 with a grown man play as he brings him down with one hand from the backside. That's going to bring up 4th down, 11 seconds left in the first half. Supreme calls the timeout. They'll want to talk about it. Run to the right, and that will do it at 7.3 seconds. And so Supreme spends a timeout. They wanted to get the ball back. It's turnover on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 Supreme. They use the last 2 timeouts to preserve the time so they can get one shot before this half. And now, mind you, if you haven't watched this 7 and under Supreme team before, they have an excellent quarterback with a cannon for an arm. And chance again, but man, oh man, how did that receiver get so wide open? And I'm not understanding why Bessemer is still in a cover 1 and that safety's playing the center of the field and both wideouts are to the wide side. It's be really hard for that safety to get there. You think they were going like a cover 2. Quarterback back to pass again. He throws it deep once more. And it's picked off this time. Bessemer with the pick to end the half. And the parents are going crazy over here for Bessemer. And that is how they will end the half, 0-0. And Bessemer with a new jump to their step as they end the half in a tie score with one of the most high-scoring 7U teams in the country, and that's Supreme. And, guys, we're going to go ahead, and we've been facing crazy Wi-Fi here in Panama City. We'll go ahead and reboot so we can have some HD for you coming back. So join us here in about 9.5 minutes right here on Generation XU Sports Network.